Keep the main thing the main thing. Hey, my name is Brian. Welcome to my garage Bible study. Keep the main thing the main thing. That's the big deal we're looking at today. I am deep in restoration of this 1978 Jeep CJ7. I bought it from an owner who gave up on the restoration, who bought it from an owner who gave up on the restoration. So I'm uncovering all kinds of things as I've gotten to the place of the body gone, the engine gone, the drivetrain gone, everything off. I'm seeing that this frame has had a lot of work to it. If you look over here behind me, these are welds here as I've cleaned up this frame. This is separating and someone has put these welds in freshly here. You can see on top of these body mounts here, they've welded in new plates that are right here on top, all over the place, because the other ones were really rusted out underneath. A lot of stuff has been taking place here. And it's been reminding me of something in the Bible. Yes, we're meshing garage and Bible. Let's take a look at the book of Romans, chapter 10, verse 6 and following. If I were to ask you, what does it take to be a Christian, to be a follower of Jesus? What does it take to get to heaven? What would you say? Some might say, well, it takes me being on an upward spiritual trend. Some would say, well, it takes me being a good person. Some would say, well, it would take me having received Jesus. Some would say, well, it means getting baptized. And we might say any number of those things, and all of those things are true to one degree or another. But I'll tell you what happens actually very frequently. Whatever we say, we actually believe and do a lot more. We lop a lot more on top of that. Let's take a look at the book of Romans, chapter 10. I'm going to start here at verses, where am I going to be? Here we go. Let's take a look at verse 8 and following. But what does it say? The word is near you, in your mouth and in your heart. That is the word of faith that we proclaim. Because if you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God has raised him from the dead, you will be saved. How are we saved? It just tells us. Saved from what? Saved from a futile life? Yes. Saved from a life that is bent on destroying itself? Yes. Saved on a life that is only surfacey? Yes. And saved from an eternity of not knowing God. That's a nice way to put it. A not so nice way to put it, a more traditional way to put it, is saved from the effects of our sin, which is eternal damnation. Woo! That's what I want to hear in Garage Bible Study, eternal damnation. Yeah. God basically gives us what we want, which is just ourselves to be the king of our life and not God. And so if we want to be the king of our life and we don't want God to be the king of our life, why would we want to be heaven where everybody obviously proclaims that he is king? In some ways, hell is actually a move of mercy to give people what they want, except give it in the extreme. How do you get to heaven? How is it? Well, it just said it right here. You see what it is? It said it right here. It says, if you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. So it's our mouth saying, Jesus, you are Lord, and it's our heart believing that God raised him from the dead. This is the frame of our faith. Right here, this is the frame of our faith. This thing is everything in the vehicle. Doesn't matter how good your engine is. Doesn't matter how good the coat of paint is on the outside of the body panels. If this thing isn't good and it cracks when you're going down the road, your vehicle crumbles and you maybe die. And I see many people when they come into restorations, they don't want to get this deep. They just want to put some Bondo on the body and they want to get some nice paint and look at it's all good. That's actually the condition this Jeep was in. The previous owner was telling me that the body's actually in very good condition. It actually wasn't too bad, really, but who cares what the body's like? You can fix that pretty simply. But this right here, that's a different deal. People just look at the vehicle they have and say, oh, let's put some Bondo on, let's put some putty on it, let's get the body really well, let's get a nice coat of paint on it, and away we go. And you have a really quick restoration that way, get some really immediate gratification. But if you're not dealing with the underlying stuff, it doesn't matter what the body looks like. It doesn't matter how nice the radio is. Previous owner spent a lot of time on the radio. There was just wires everywhere and amplifiers and all kinds of stuff. Like, dude, radio is like the last thing you need to work on. Literally the last thing. And I find that that's the way it is with our faith. What is the core of your faith? What's the frame of your faith? I find that we glob all kind of things on, and we just want to kind of make everything look nice. Let's just be nice. Let's get everybody to vote the right way. Let's dig into LGBTQIA plus issues. Fine. Voting important, LGBTQIA plus important. Being nice, all that important. But I tell you what, it's not the frame of your faith. Whatever your understanding of sexuality is, their frame may inform your faith or your belief in that, but it's not the frame. I meet people who are all like looking at, should women be in ministry? Should women be ordained? Women teachers? Okay, important stuff. The Bible says something about that. That's fine. Look at that. When's Jesus coming back? When's Jesus coming back? Premillennial, postmillennial, amillennial. What's it look? What is the right translation of this? Is the Bible the inerrant word of God? Every single word is every single word true in the original manuscripts. Every single word in the King James Version. Every single word as we take a compilation of all the 45,000 different copies we have of the New Testament. Is everything? What is inerrant? Okay. Important stuff to look at eventually. But here's the deal. The frame of your faith is not those things. So if those things are so important to you, and then you come to a different belief, you can go, my faith has exploded. Oh, because I don't believe that anymore. Now I believe differently about sexuality. Now I believe differently about women leadership. And I thought the Bible said this. Now I see, though I don't believe that, I can't believe that. So therefore I have to abandon the faith. Now, the problem is your faith was too complicated. It was too complex. Faith is supposed to be very, very simple. Who is Jesus? Do you say with your mouth that he is your king, he's your Lord? And would you say that because, two, you believe he came back from the dead? It doesn't matter what archaeologists find over in Israel as they dig things up. It doesn't matter what smart, enlightened person posts on social media and talks about some new twist of some Bible verse. It doesn't matter what science says, unless science or the archaeology comes out and it finds proof that Jesus actually didn't physically, literally, and historically raise from the dead. That's all that matters. That's the foundation. Everything else is Bondo and body paint. That is it. I would encourage you, simplify your faith. Make Jesus your king. Make decisions that are based on him being king, which could inform your understanding and action and all the hot topics I talked about before. But the foundation of our faith is not those things that everybody's clamoring about. The foundation of our faith is this. And here's the problem with this. This frame is just worse than I thought it was going to be. I expected these holes here. There's holes here. I knew those were there. I saw those. Someone cut them out to be able to weld a nut in so the skid plate could go under here that holds the transmission and the transfer case. And so I knew about that. They did that so the bolts could come up under and hit. But as I knock stuff off, I got these cracks that are like all the way down here, right where the mounts are for the springs. That's really, really bad news. I don't know if this frame's going to make it. I don't know if it's going to make it. What's the frame of your faith looking like? Is it going to make it? Put too much weight on it? Starting to bend? All your different beliefs? Have you not kept yourself clean? Just allowed all kind of contaminants to contaminate your faith, and now it's rusting out and corroding. Man, have a very, very simple faith. Say with your mouth, Jesus is king. Know he's king because he proved it by coming back from the dead. Keep that clean and pure, and then you can build things on that, and you can swap things out on top of that. But that is your frame. We'll see you next time on My Garage Bible Study.